Granny, what was your life like in Miskolc growing up?
Our everyday life was very similar to what we have here. There was a family life. We went to school. We came home from school. We had lunch. We had homework, just like we do it here.
And what was Miskolc's life in terms of a Jewish community? Did you go to a Jewish school? Were there shuls there?
I went to a Jewish school. Girls had Jewish school from elementary school, middle school, and high school. Boys were not so lucky. The boys had only the elementary school and the middle school. So until the Germans didn't come in, there was no problem. They went to school. But once they came in, there was no more school for the boys because they were not accepted in non-Jewish schools. As soon as the Germans came in, our whole life changed. The plan was that everybody is going to go to the States, but grandmother was sick and the doctor didn't advise the trip.
And grandmother was who? Whose mother was grandmother?
My father's, Schwartz. So everybody remained. And unfortunately, she passed away within a year. And in 1944, so did so many others. Our life changed drastically when the Germans occupied us. From one day to the other. They arrived to Budapest in 1944. And the day after, they were already in Miskolc. And the minute they entered, our life changed.
Did you need to wear yellow stars, or were there laws that passed?
Restrictions, one after the other. You couldn't go out to the street only certain times. You had to make yellow badges and sew it on your clothes. Schools were taken away, our schools were taken away, and it was just terrible. These Czechoslovakian boys, Jewish boys who lived as non-Jews, they told my father that if you want to help your family and you want to stay together, you can go to this work, not far from Miskolc, a few hours away, where you're going to do some community work and you can stay together. So we went. The women were cooking, the children were bringing water to the people while they were working. It was chopping wood. It was going on for about 2 weeks when they wanted us to come back. Work was over. By that time already we had all the false papers with us, but we didn't know where to go with it. We didn't want to be taken away. So they took us back to Hungary, to Miskolc, but the problem was that by that time the ghetto was the ghetto started, and we didn't have any place where to stay. So right then already the family was, everyone was in a different place. And my father came to, I was in my girlfriend's house because that apartment belonged to the ghetto. And my father came and brought a chain which had a cross. And he was crying and I was crying. When he put on the cross on my neck, and then he left. And I never saw my mother again, my little brother or little sister.
How did you leave Hungary?
Oh, that was another big. We had to run away because by the time we wanted to leave, and your grandma was born. We were waiting for her to be born. And we didn't go away legally, and by the time we wanted to leave, there was no possibility. So we had to again run away.
Why couldn't you leave legally?
Because Papa was a Zionist and he never got, I had a passport, American visa, but Papa didn't. And they put him on the blacklist because he was a Zionist. So we didn't know about it. We were waiting, when are we going to get the permit to leave? And for a while, they kept on saying it is coming, but the passport or whatever paper we had was sitting in an office. It was March 16, these dates I can't forget. And we decided that if we can't go legally, we must run away. And this is what happened. One of the uncles, Papa's uncle, Zukor, Papa wrote a note. I don't remember how much the amount was, 20,000 forint to leave. And they tear the paper in two, and they discussed it, that half of the amount is going to be paid now, and half of the amount when the guide comes back, and we'll give him the other half of the paper. That's when he's going to be paid. So we were supposed to be there in 24 hours or 48 hours. But it took us 4 weeks to get out of Hungary, to arrive through Czechoslovakia. Finally, Abba is asking the guy, are there any Jews in this place? He said, yeah, there is a miller. So he wrote a few words in Hebrew that Jews are here. And this man took the paper, took the note, and gave it to the Jewish people, and he came right away for us. It so happened that it was Friday night, and we got to this house. It was like heaven. Those poor people just came back from Auschwitz, and they had a baby, and they lost the baby. And she had everything for a baby, and we gave a bath to Shoshi, and there were colors on the table, and candles were lit. So this is how we arrived to this place in Czechoslovakia. And then after Shabbos, this guy took us to the train, to the other wagon, and with the Bricha, we got to Vienna. This is how we got out of Czechoslovakia. Finally, we managed to get to Italy, and the nicest thing happened is that the Israeli boat Galila, we took us, and we got to Israel.
So how long were you living in Israel for?
We were there for 3 years, but out of the 3 years, my family sent a ticket to come to visit because they didn't even know Shoshi. And
When we say your family, who was living in America?
my father by that time was in Texas, and so were my brothers, and a large family. And after the war, when nobody came back, I just couldn't imagine spending a life always alone without everybody. So It was difficult because Papa didn't want to leave. I don't blame him. He
Didn't
didn't
wanna leave
want to
Israel.
leave. He wanted to stay in Israel, and I wanted to be closer to the family. So that was the reason why we ever left Israel. And then we went to Canada.
So here we are now in Englewood, New Jersey. It's 2016. How did you ever imagine that life could be like this?
This is our main victory over what the Germans did to us. I just wish that Abba should have been able to be with us for many more years. But thank God what we have, this gorgeous, beautiful family. Our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren. How much nicer can it be? This is like if God wanted to take care of us. Thank God for every one of them. And God should help them that they should never have to undergo any problems. They should help them and us to be well.